like the construction of the Baja is different than some other campers where it's a hybrid between fiberglass and aluminum shell. So we're leveraging the strength of aluminum and keeping our composite structure thin walled. So like the overall weight is really light, but you have still that like single piece composite on the outside for waterproofing and for like the lack of thermal conductivity. All of our MOLLE panels, custom storage boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And so that kind of allows us to know what people, what gear people are going to carry and build it around that.
Yeah, so some people, like you have a tall one for skis and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've done everything from like full width bike boxes to, there's actually a pretty cool truck out there we can look at. They've got individual like golf club holders.
Hey guys, we're here with Luke from Rossmönster. He's one of the co-founders of this amazing company where they do some really incredible work on the interiors of vans. But for us, what we love the most is what you see behind us. This has been our dream for a long time, to take the motorhome and the Jeep, mush them together. And when we found Rossmönster and we started talking to Luke, we found the realization of that dream. So I'd like to introduce you to Luke. He'll tell you a bit about the company, about the history, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we are looking at one of our newest products, which is the Baja. We've started building vehicles about 10 years ago. We built custom vans for a lot of years. Yeah. We started working on this project kind of as a passion project back in 2018. We built one on an F-150, which was a pretty cool vehicle. It ultimately didn't have enough payload. Right. We built a couple more prototypes. We took them down to Baja. We beat the crap out of them. We were fine. We made them a bit better. And what you're looking at today is our full production shells. We are still making small improvements. You guys have the first double door or two-piece door, which is pretty cool to have that full height entry.
Super nice.
But yeah, we're a custom shop, so we can, as we did with you guys, we worked with you to, build exactly what was going to fit your needs, all the way from the layout down through the components and the systems. And we really take the time to get to know, our customers and what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's been an amazing process working with you guys. And like you'll notice inside, we wanted that look and feel of our cabin, but take it on the road with us. And so you said, well, here's some ideas. And so we've got the wood panel on the ceiling, and it just reminds us of being up at the lake. So they'll work with you on every aspect of the vehicle based on our needs, or your needs, the buyer, what you're going to use it for, how you're going to use it. So you and Ross got into business, how long ago was that?
About 10 years ago.
10 years ago,
yeah. Yeah, he was a woodworker, I was an engineer. We started doing this kind of as a side project. We were both passionate about the space, and then we sold the first vehicle, and then we sold a couple more, and
the rest is history.
Yeah, now we're here.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna, over the next weeks, months, and years, put this vehicle through the ringer, as we always do. But we're super excited to get it out there. So thanks for everything, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome to the family.
Yeah, it's good to be part of the Rossmönster family.
Yeah, I don't think my smile can get any bigger. It's going to be permanent for quite a long time. This is really a dream come true, to do what we've done for the last 7, almost 8 years, and now we can go in comfort and really enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah.
And big adventures to come, for sure. We
have that comfort, but with a very capable off-road vehicle, which is what we were looking for.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Let's go look at the vehicle.
This Rossmönster Baja is built on a 2023 Ford F-350 Super Duty 4x4 Crew Cab Lariat with the 6.7 Powerstroke V8 turbo diesel and the 10-speed auto torque shift transmission. It has a 331 electronic locking axle and the F x4 off-road package with skid plates.
But we can start up front here. We've got this custom buck stop bumper here that's going to be housing your worn 16,500 pound winch in there with the synthetic line. I'm sure you're familiar with winching, but you do have a wired remote inside on your driver's side door that lives in there. Your PIA auxiliary lights And you do have an ARB onboard air compressor. You'll have chucks. Here's one on the front, and you'll have one on the rear as well. So if you're airing up or down off-road, you can adjust your tire pressure as you see fit. Up top, we've got the Baja Designs light bar up there, spectacular. It will turn night into day for you.
Just out of curiosity, is that when, what is that called right here? Is that able to hold a hitch?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd have to double check on the exact weight rating. At the very least, you could definitely put your bicycles up there.
Okay.
I don't know precisely what it's rated to. I'm sure I could get that information, but Buckstop builds an incredibly well built bumper. It is tied into your frame. So I would expect you should be able, don't hold me to this, but I'm gonna double check that you should be able to put a moto up there as well.
Okay.
At least a 690.
Yeah.
Maybe not my Africa Twin, but maybe
Right.
690.
Or even a smaller one for me.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. You guys are very fortunate to have our first two-piece door, which is, I mean, you're a big guy, I'm a big guy. I appreciate it for sure. So that's one of the neat features. Obviously, with the pop top, we want to have this stowed down anytime we're driving. It's not designed to be up, but if you happen to forget, the door is designed so that when you start putting it down, if you bring it down, it will put it down. But let's get in the habit of just closing that one way or the other. And if you want to, I mean, you could also leave it if you want to just get a little extra ventilation. You've kind of got, you know, you can do soft serve out of here or whatever, taco truck or something, you know.
And this just kind of clips.
You've got a magnet there that'll hold that in place. So,
nice.
and you will want to open this to access the rear door, obviously, because it's going to overlap a little bit there.
Okay.
Your amp research step will pull out here as you need it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. We've got our custom Max Tracks table, so super handy. So this will be set up for when you're at camp. You can sit out here and make your margaritas or whatever you like. But then, of course, you've got your traction boards for when you get
Ready
into
to
some
go.
crazy stuff. Yeah.
We don't do that.
No, of course not. So, coming around to the back, we've made a custom bumper for the back of the vehicle. We've got our MOLLE panels here, give you a lot of good options for storage, so you can add your axe and winch and other accessories, of course. Lockable storage box here. And these are custom in-house. It is currently locked, so, but yeah, we could throw firewood or whatever your stinky gear in there and keep it out of the truck. And you've got room to strap stuff down on top here as well, of course. So.
People might wonder why we have gas on the diesel, but this is for the bikes.
Yep, and I like that. I support that decision.
For the support, what do we call it? The support vehicle for the bikes.
There you go. Recon vehicles.
There you go.
Yeah. So
what's that? The trailer plug-in then?
Yeah, you got your 4-pin and 7-pin here for your towing. So if you do have plenty of towing capability on this guy.
Yeah.
So. And then on the driver's side here, this will be our water fill for our freshwater tank.
Okay, nice.
This will be our fuel fill and our DEF here as well.
Okay.
Yep. And that's the exterior, really.
Nice.
Yeah, your spare tire, full size with another method wheel mounted right up in here. It's nice and snug. So, yeah,
Sweet.
good to go with that.
How about suspension? You got the Carly suspension?
Yeah, all four corners of that fantastic Carly suspension in this guy. That's going to make, not only minimize your sway, but obviously off-road capability is just going to be spectacular. But it really, I did a test drive on this guy the other day and it just felt good. It felt really, really good. So yeah, should
Very
be
nice.
awesome. I'd be excited to get this guy off-road.
Sweet.
And then as a note, we've got two of our exhausts here. You have two heater sources, as I'm sure you're probably aware, which we'll go over when we get inside, but both your
They're
exhausts
both
are going to be right
exhausted
here. Exactly, yeah.
So are these backup cameras or are they sensors?
So you've got the factory forward sensors here, and then you do have your backup camera, reverse camera.
Okay.
That is factory here as well. So,
Nice.
but these will be the factory sensors we incorporated into the new bumper for you.
And so what kind of lights did you put in the bumper?
So these are the Pathfinder backup lights there for you. And forgive me, I don't recall the brand on our tail lights on this guy, but you do have, of course, your turn running lights and reverse lights in addition to those as well.
That's perfect.
And if we do a bike rack for our mountain bikes, you go on this side?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we do a lot of, One Up is a pretty popular bike rack company you may be familiar with, and they make a two-piece that fits perfectly on this MOLLE panel, so you can do the front wheel here and the lower wheel here, and it works great. So good size awning.
Yeah, that's big.
What I like about this manual one is it does have legs here. So these guys, you can stake them in your little kit there. It comes with some stakes. What we want to do is pull this out. You see how that comes out? Loosen here. And then if I'm in the appropriate space, I can stake it down. Exactly. And then tighten this back.
Cooling as well, I guess.
Tremendously. Yeah, absolutely. But great for when you're at camp, giving you a nice little space here.
I love it.
Good size.
All right.
All right. Piece of
Ready
cake.
to go.
Yeah. So I'm deflating your airbags on the rear right now. So
okay.
you've got the airlift air ride system in here with the airbags that are fully adjustable. This gives you a little controller. It does work via Bluetooth. The compressor is mounted back in this area, and we generally set this to about 70 psi. Is typically a fair riding position as far as comfort. But since you're going to be doing all kinds of different crazy stuff, feel free to play with it. Obviously, the more they're inflated, the less body roll you'll get. That's the sound of that onboard air compressor. I just cranked it back up. I dropped it down to 20, and now I'm cranking it back up to 70 via this button right here. Your shore power plug is on the other side. This is a little adapter. It will plug into your shore power plug and just a standard extension cord. So you've got 600 watts of solar on the roof. If I'm not mistaken, it's 4 panels on this guy. We do all kinds of different configurations depending on the size of the air conditioner or the max fan. So there are some panels that are this wide and this long, and some of them are much larger.
Plus we have the Starlink up there mounted.
Exactly, your Starlink, your Dometic AC and your 2 max air fans. So your roof is pretty full up there. So. Yeah, but the nice thing is, as we drop that top down, we're shorter than a lot of these vans out here when we're driving, even with the Starlink and the air conditioner on there. One thing to note, we pop the top up and it just takes about 20 seconds to pop it up and down, but we still have access in here. So if we need to get, stop at the grocery store and when the top's down, you don't have to pop it up. You can come in here. We got to duck our head a little bit, of course, but we can come in here and, access the fridge or whatever we need to. One of the primary things here is our lifting mechanism here. We have 4 actuators in each corner that are going to lift our top up and down. I'm not going to put it all the way up and down right now, but it is momentary. So as I hold it, I turn it left, and it will stop. And it's not intentional. We want it to stop. We want you to be here and manually have to do this so we can keep an eye on. You don't want to leave a bottle of wine or store something, your sink top up. We want to make sure. Yes, exactly. So that would cause some damage to your guitar. The system would be fine ultimately, but let's avoid that headache. So, but this top is going to raise and lower about 17, 18 inches on this guy. So, but I'm going to go ahead and raise it all the way up. And when we get to the stopping point, it'll automatically stop. When it's at the very top peak. Wow. And that's it, just let off.
Smooth and quiet, I love it.
Super smooth, super quiet.
Fast, really.
Yeah, and it really takes, I think it's about 20 seconds to go up and down, so it makes getting in and out. If you do want to pop it up, more often, you certainly can. So we can get into our battery monitor here. This is the Victron Energy battery monitor. I'll show you, I'll send you a link to make sure you have the app. The app is going to be super handy have you used that one before?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, perfect. So that's going to make this, a lot of this may be, old news to you. We'll go through it anyways, but using that app, you can see all the information that we're going to go over here in just a second, all on one page. So we're going to use the plus and minus on this guy and scroll through about 4 or 5 different screens. We don't need to worry about the other 2 buttons here right now. The first thing I'm going to see here is our battery percentage, and showing a little percentage sign on the right hand side, and we're at 100%, which is great. We're getting solar power. We've got lights going right now, so we are at 100% on our batteries. As I scroll down using the minus button, this is going to tell me how long I can do what I'm doing based on our battery level right now. So it's telling me infinite. We can do this without having to worry about charging for a very long time. So, okay. As we turn more components on our air conditioning or our cooktop, that number clearly is going to drop down and change, and it may show 18, 20, 34 hours or whatever it may be. So kind of a nice thing to keep an eye on there. So again, that's the Victron Energy app there, or Energy battery monitor. On the app, when we go to hook that up, you'll be able to see all that information on one screen. Super simple and a great resource to check that out. Let's get into our main Firefly panel here. This is how we're going to operate a lot of the systems in the vehicle. The way I like to set my lights, perhaps I don't want my rear ceiling, and maybe I want to dim my dome lights over the bed, which I'm dimming those right behind us right there. Those are nice and dim. So if I go back to my home screen and I turn those off and turn them back on, they come back
to the last setting.
Exactly.
Very neat.
So if you get a nice ambient lighting that you like, you're comfortable with, it'll come back on where you like it. So, but again, I can hold those down and they will dim right back up. And all of these are dimmable as well. So back real quickly to our home screen. We've got monitors for our gray tank and our freshwater. I'll make sure you're topped off if you like with freshwater. We got a little bit in there right now. And just our general battery voltage is kind of good to see there. So scrolling down here to controls. Our refrigerator is the isotherm, I believe that's the 85 on that. And the fridge is very, very low energy consumption as far as refrigerators go. So you can leave that on as you see fit. We do have our water pump and our battery heater here. So you have 2 heating systems. I'm going to talk about your AquaHot system. Are you familiar with AquaHot?
I'm not. So that's the water and heat.
Precisely.
And then the Webasto would be a backup.
Exactly. So the Webasto is your backup, but the AquaHot will be our primary source, and you can use one or the other. But just so you're familiar, the AquaHot, it's going to heat glycol coolant, basically. Right. And this is coolant completely separate from the engine, right? So it's got its own little coolant system there. When we engage this, it's going to heat up this coolant, and depending on how we use the system, it will heat hot water for us, and it takes maybe 8-10 minutes to have hot water, and we can take a shower. Or if we choose, it will also heat the air in the camper for us as well. So, and it's super, super efficient. Now, both of these heating systems are tapped into the factory fuel tank, and we've given a safeguard in there where we've only tapped down to, I'm going to call it a quarter of the tank. It might be slightly more than that, but I'm going to call it a quarter of the tank.
That
so,
makes sense.
In theory, if we're at camp and we've got a quarter of a tank of fuel and we're running our heater's going to shut off at some point.
Before you get stuck out there.
Exactly. We're going to be able to drive to get fuel, but our heater's going to shut off. So these items here, we have owner's manuals for everything. You have hard copies in here, and of course all the stuff's available online. Yeah. So one neat feature about your truck, obviously, is we do have this full-size shower. You've got your little cassette toilet down here. Shower is going to work just like you would expect a shower to work, of course, and you have hot and cold. And like I said, generally it's going to take about 8 minutes or so
to heat up. So that's pretty fancy.
Yeah.
And it just drains into
your gray tank just below. Yeah, exactly. So we'll get into our induction cooktop, the Impava cooktop. Great feature. We'll need to add some induction cookware because this won't function with regular cookware. Have you used inductions before?
At people's houses. We've never had one ourselves, but
they're super efficient, and what I mean by that is they heat up very quickly and they cook very hot very quickly. So be mindful of that if you're going to cook up a steak or saute something. Maybe start on a lower setting initially because it will get maybe hotter than you expect initially. Yeah. So, but your buttons here, we've got 2 independent burners that we can use. They're both on lock right now, which is a nice. That's where I typically leave it because that way, if I come here and accidentally touch something,
don't accidentally turn on the burner.
Right. Now that being said, even if I accidentally turn on the burner, nothing's going to happen. Right. It won't get hot. It's more just the beeping and that kind of stuff if I was doing setting things on here. Or something
so these they only work when there's an induction.
Precisely. Yep. They will only come on with an induction. If you put a regular pot on here, nothing's going to happen. So, and they'll cool down pretty darn quick. Within a few minutes, that cooktop, once you've stopped cooking, will cool down pretty darn quick.
Sweet.
So, we've got some great storage here in the galley. So, all these nice little drawers with this locking, and then our isotherm refrigerator here. A couple notes about the isotherm. Fantastic. It's got a vent here on the right hand side. Let's make sure we don't block that with pillows or sleeping bags or bedding or something like that. We want to make sure it's got good air circulation behind the isotherm. Additionally, as we're putting food and product in here, try to avoid absolutely overstuffing it. It appreciates decent circulation. Yep. Our sink, again, this is one feature that you want to make sure that this comes down when we're putting our top down. Yeah, but super cool right here. We've got, of course, hot and cold, and a little plug here, and it also includes a nice little strainer in the sink as well. So
that goes into the gray tank, and same thing. You just you turn on the pump before you start using that.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, you can leave the water pump when you're at camp. Leave the water pump on. Here we can visibly see our water tank here, so it's a great way to kind of keep an eye on how much fresh water we have on this guy. I believe this is a 30-gallon tank on here, and you've got some great additional storage, and you're welcome. You can certainly store things on here, and of course up in here as well. So
nice.
Yeah. Our upper cabinets, again, lots of great storage. We've got some extra stuff. All those paper manuals I mentioned to you. Anything that came with a manual has been stored in here. So some light reading at camp. You can go through the 150 pages of your Dometic AC. Exactly. This truck has 2 max fans, one in front and one in the rear, which is awesome because you can kind of do a push-pull thing.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Do one in and have the other one pull out as they're reversible.
That's cool.
So it did come with 2 remotes, but these are directional or not specific to the fan. So you can use one remote.
For both.
Yeah, exactly. So, but all your features on these guys, you can increase your fan speed. You can just pop the top open and leave it open without the fan running. You can reverse it while it's going. You can reverse the speed as well. And these fans are designed to be left open while you're driving if you'd like.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can leave them open. In fact, they've got a nice little cover over them, so even in a light rain, they're fine.
Oh, nice.
Now, heavier rain, you're going to get some splashback and might start to get some water in them. So, we've got an extra cord for our Starlink here. If you wanted to hardwire into your laptop, Starlink's located over here. And that's really about it here. So, Oh, and we have a clothesline
There you
here,
go.
which is kind of nice. And that will actually go right over here. So if
I
you want to
see.
dry some clothes, we'll just
And Carol's gonna love
right
that.
to there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so super handy. But again, the rest of this up here is just lots of fantastic storage, which you're going to need probably every inch you can get. And this is a little bit better than a Jeep, I imagine.
Oh
as
yeah,
far as
a
storage
lot more.
goes.
But for the two of us, it's gonna be plenty. It's gonna be great.
Excellent. This is the Lagoon table mount.
Nice.
And so obviously lots of good flexibility here, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Couple things to keep in mind. It's set fairly tight, what I would call nice and tight enough.
Yeah.
But if this was real loose, I wouldn't want to leave this too loose while we're driving around. This is a good tension on it right now, so it's not going to smack.
But you can lock it down pretty tight.
You can tighten these guys down. It's kind of a ratcheting system. So as I start to loosen this guy, at some point I may hit an obstacle, right?
Okay.
So I'll pull this back out, come back around,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and then let it go back in, and now I can continue to loosen. So yeah, when we're setting up an auxiliary bed back here, this would come off. We could set this guy right down here, and we'll rearrange our cushions so we've got a secondary sleeping area,
Nice.
which is really handy. So, and of course you can adjust the height. So if I loosen the tension here, and again ratcheting, so if I pull it back around and go one more time, then that would allow me to raise
Oh, nice.
or lower the height of this guy. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and pull this out so we can access these different cabinets here. And I'll just set it off to one side for right now. And here's kind of your command center when it comes to your energy. So we've got our 3 Victron 200 amp hour batteries here. We've got a few things, most people don't spend too much time in here, to be honest with you, Peter, but the things you should be aware of are a few things, obviously. Fuses are pretty straightforward. These are your 12 volt fuses here. So in the event that, your max air fan didn't work for you for some reason, first place we're going to check right here. I mean, fuses occasionally will blow, and these are just your standard automotive blade style fuses, so good idea to have some of these on hand. I think we may have even packed you with some of these already, so just as a precaution in case they did blow. We've got a solar breaker here, which no reason really for you to be doing that. That would be if we're in service or something like that working on the system. So, but something to be aware of though is your master power, which is located here. By switching that off, that's going to turn off the entire camper system. Okay. So if we were, yeah, in storage, shipping, precisely. If you took it in for service, go ahead and shut that off. So it's, obviously the Ford truck is going to be independent of this. Sure, yeah. So it'll still do all of its stuff, but it completely separates the systems there. So here's the Aqua system. This is the physical system we talked about a little bit ago. So again, as I mentioned, this is our coolant or glycol here. It's going to be circulating through lines, and inside here is a small little water vessel. So it's on-demand water essentially.
Sure,
but once that coolant is nice and hot, you have a healthy amount of hot water for you. So our water pump is located here. So again, we'll audibly hear that when it's going. And then our plumbing valves here. So I don't know, you guys may come across a situation where you need to winterize. I'm not sure if you will. The upside is it takes you about 8 minutes to winterize. It's super,
I love how
super
everything's
simple.
accessible and just visible.
Exactly. If you did get in a situation where you had to winterize, you don't need to use antifreeze.
Oh, okay.
So we would simply use compressed air via this Schrader valve here, just like on your car tire or bicycle tire.
Okay.
We would basically introduce compressed air. We'd open up, we'd get rid of as much water out of here as possible.
Yep.
We would, open up our sink faucet and introduce compressed air, open this valve. That compressed air is going to push the rest of the water out. Oh, good. That's like, it literally takes about 8 minutes the first time.
And can you do it with the ARB compressor? Or?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Self-sufficient.
Exactly.
Love it.
Last thing I didn't cover, your windows here. You've got your sliders up top, which is great. So in the event, you didn't have both fans open, crack one open and put another fan on to get a nice cross breeze as you're cooking or something like that, which is handy. And then you've got your, these guys here, which you do have bug screen.
Nice.
As well as your privacy shades. And then you'll hear a little click and they'll stay right there for you. So
in the rain too, or?
Good go in the rain, depending on if it's raining sideways. Link is kept up here. Starlink does draw a fair amount of energy.
Right.
So I generally recommend leaving that unplugged when you're not using it. Dish is on top there. So, but again, I get in the habit of unplugging it from here whenever you're not using it. We do have in-floor radiant heat right in this area right here. And it's on a nice little timer. It goes 30 minutes at a time. We do that intentionally up to 30 minutes at a time just so you don't forget, because that is a little bit of a high draw as well. So, but you know, you could keep hitting 30 minutes if you wanted to. Hit this guy here, and that's going to turn these little heating pads on underneath the floor there. So if you're in here cooking and it's cool, it kind of helps supplemental heat.
Sure.
We didn't go over your air conditioning because we didn't call for it today. Really, it's pretty straightforward on a Dometic air conditioner here. We also have a nice remote on this guy, so that you can control all of your features from the air conditioner with this little handheld remote here as well. So, and that is a 12-volt air conditioner.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so they are very efficient as far as air conditioners go. The Dometic do a great job, put out a fair amount of air, and of course you've got your adjustability on your vents here as well. So, and you'll have the option, you know, it's via here or via the remote. You can do an eco mode, which just kind of keeps it at a lower, you know, cools it as efficiently as possible. You've got a kind of a boost mode where you can just go full blast, or you can set it to, you know, 62 degrees, and it will do its best to maintain as much as possible on that. You know, that being said, if you're in extremely hot conditions, you know, insulating by closing your shades there helps insulate a little bit. Having your pass-through closed up, that makes a big difference. You'll notice a massive discrepancy in temperature between the camper here and the insulation that we've done versus the Ford truck and all that glass up there. You can't obviously insulate the glass.
Both in the summer and the winter.
Precisely.
Keep that closed.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and turn this guy back off. And then lastly, we should talk about the bunk a little bit here. This beautiful, beautiful bunk area right here, super comfortable mattress. Our ladder to get in and out, this is kind of designed to be two different ways. You can use it as it is right now, but if it's not interfering, it's designed to come up here and I'm out right there. It makes it less steep of an angle to get in and out. So maybe once you're at camp and you're not going in and out of the door, you might put that in that.
At night or something?
Yep, at night, exactly. So it's easy to get in and out. Then just to the left there, we've got an indoor MOLLE panel, so you could put your first aid kit or, you know, flashlight or whatever you'd like on that guy.
Fire extinguisher, maybe. Whatever.
Good call. Yeah, definitely fire extinguisher on that note. So, and then in your bunk back here behind me, we've got 2 reading lights with USB plugs on them as well. So you can plug your phone in there. And additionally, there's one more little plug right here for charging station, essentially.
Oh, power?
Yep. So you can, exactly. Nice. So you can charge your laptops or whatever else right here as well. So pretty convenient. And that's the bunk. Oh, and I beg your pardon. We've got up in here, we've got lots of good storage up here. Nice. Yeah. So kind of, I mean, most people do kind of a his and hers for a closet kind of stuff up there, where you can tuck a lot of gear up there. So pretty handy.
And to access this, it's just a zipper or
buttons? Exactly. So for the pass-through, this is going to give you some privacy, and like I said, it helps with insulation. So if you're trying to keep it hot or cold, I would advise using this guy. But this is a really cool feature to be able to access. You know, if you've got the back seat, a lot of people use the back seat for storage. Yeah. But you can already feel the heat coming through there. Right. I mean, you feel the difference in between the insulation here and there. It makes a massive difference. But yeah, this can be stowed up here. So, or if, you know, the dog, put a dog bed up there, and the pup can run back and forth as you see fit. So
that is fantastic. Man. I can't get over this. And
I can't think of anything that we'd want to add. I mean, it's just a complete overland vehicle. You guys have done a great job.
Excellent. Well, we're excited for you guys to get out there and put it through its paces and use it. You know, that's why these are built. These are not pavement princesses. They're designed to be used. And so I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. And,
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Definitely a game changer.
No doubt.
Everything we wanted.
Yeah.
It's right here.
We finally smushed the Jeep in the motorhome.
Exactly.
Well, thanks. That was
a
wonderful tour.
Good.
Yes, thank you so
Very
much.
informative.
My pleasure.
All right, guys, the moment has come. We've got the paperwork all signed and taken care of. We've gone through the vehicle in detail with Phil and learned how to use it properly. So we're excited about that. There's nothing left to do but to hop in and drive away. Let's do it.
Wow. There's so much